Oh my God, it is chilly in California.
It is very chilly.
I don't know where you live.
Gotta stay warm
But
somehow.
it's like 58 degrees here. So if you're in a Dakota, I'm sure you're upset at us. If you're in Michigan or
It's
New York,
like this weather here, man. Oh, look, I'm turning around the logo. I guess I can show a logo on our channel, right?
I don't know if you can.
We don't monetize this shit.
I don't think we do. We're not monetized and we don't want to be.
Look, I'm a Falcons fan. I hope everybody's okay with that.
And I'm a fan of California, and I hope
also
everyone's
a fan
okay
of
with that.
Boba Fett, Star Wars. It's a $10 Target shirt.
We got a lot.
I'm a fan of $10 Target shirts.
I'm a fan of Sculpin. Ballast Point Sculpin.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, brother. Finish that.
Now that we got all of our sponsors out of the way,
yeah,
the Atlanta Falcons,
this episode brought to you
Star
by
Wars,
Red Wine, Star Wars,
the
Falcons,
Ballast Point Brewery,
and the state of California. Welcome to another episode brought to you by our sponsors.
I'm Jake.
Yeah. All right. I'm Joel. Roll the titles.
Welcome back.
In response.
Hello and welcome to the day.
Thank you for spending your time with us.
I'm Jake.
I'm Joel. Welcome back to another episode of Jake and Joel Are Weekly.
Oh.
Got him. Got him.
It is magic.
There's a lot of stuff to talk about. We took a week off. Thank you for rejoining us. I hope you enjoyed our deck tech last week in our regular spot. And earlier this week, we had an M25 episode. Jake did a lot of research on what he and I think will end up being cards that are printed in M25. As of shooting of this episode, there haven't been any more spoilers than we mentioned in the episode. So go check that out if you haven't seen it, because we're not really going to talk about M25 in this episode. We covered it at length in that episode.
Yep.
So go check that out. During our week off, there was a mini announcement day.
Yeah.
They called it the Mini Valentine's Announcement Day. The biggest announcement was that there will be an announcement. There's an announcement day coming from their announcement, mini announcement, in between Dominaria and Corset 2019.
Okay, so this reminds me of Inception.
Right. It's Announceception.
Okay, so all in the time that the truck is like falling off the cliff.
Right. Slowly backwards, and they're all like in their seats waiting to hit the water.
And so
Like this.
that's the announcement, but then isn't that crazy to wrap your mind around, that they were just, all of that was going on while the truck was going backwards? I wonder if that's what they wanted us to think in our seats, but I was blown away.
Wasn't that an Inception, though? Wasn't there something happening on the outside of that? Or was the van the furthest out?
I would have to go back and watch. All I know is that cool stuff that they
Guys,
did with the
welcome
buildings.
back to our review of Christopher Nolan's Inception.
But seriously, and they took all that cool building tech of like the buildings folding into each other, and they were like, we need to use this in Doctor Strange.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's going to be going, I love you, I love you, I love you the whole time.
Yeah.
As we enter our main phase one, we kind of wanted to unpack the mini announcement day. That wasn't all that they announced, that there were going to be announcements. So we thought we would cover some of the smaller little slices of cake in the giant ice cream cake from DQ.
I like cake.
This episode brought to you by Dairy Queen as well.
They picked us up, Dairy Queen?
Yeah. Well, I told them I was going to make the episode about slices of cake. Yeah. That's actually what they said when I was like, yo, look, we just cracked 800 subs. And they were like, oh, let us get on that train. Pump our cakes.
So if you thought we were going to cover content
today. We can't talk about the blizzards, though. So the main part of the mini announcement, I keep calling it announcements, the mini announcement, that we want to unpack and talk about is the announcement of a product called BattleBond. Now, if you've watched the channel at all, then you know that Two-Headed Giant is near and dear to our hearts.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything that says each opponent, get a little bit of a boner for that.
So good. So, Battle Bond reads as a completely new booster release focused on two-headed giant limited play, releasing June 8th, 2018.
That's tight.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this.
Let's just say this.
Yeah.
Whenever a two-headed tournament comes to the LGS, like, you see people...
Talking about ours specifically.
Our specific LGS, but I imagine this is something that's, perpetuated in different locations.
I would hope so.
There are people that prefer to play Magic specifically in a two-headed setting.
I'll tell you.
I'll tell you, I enjoy it.
Me too. I've been to many limited events at our LGS.
And most of them are two-headed events.
The two-headed events are the ones I attend the most. And also the two-headed events are the ones that I see the most people turn out for.
Yeah.
For a little more information on Battle Bond, Gavin wrote an article for the Mothership, and I'm going to read the very first sentence of each paragraph.
God, I love sentences.
Yeah,
Bring it on.
So I'll read the sentence and you react. I won't read each paragraph, just the first sentence of each paragraph.
I'm going to pretend it's a tasting. All right.
This is Gavin, senior game designer, product architect, and most importantly for today, lead set designer of Battle Bond.
Cool.
So far, so good.
I like it.
Battle Bond is this year's Draft Innovation set.
Draft Innovations.
Battle Bond is the first set in Magic's history designed specifically for two-headed giant. Nice. Next paragraph. Little in Magic is better than playing with a friend. I wanna stop right there. Isn't Magic mostly about playing with friends? Like, you could play against strangers, I guess, at tournaments.
Spike Tournament Grinder would say no.
Got it.
Because you can go grab Emrakul, Sensei's Divining Top. You could grab anything that's been banned in any format, bring it in. But other than that, yeah, if you're cool, then mostly it's about playing with a friend. Some people are about going there and they're out for blood.
Right. Next paragraph. The set highlights so well what our 25th anniversary is about. That's an interesting sentence.
I just like snapping more. I'm gonna reserve the snaps.
Mostly this is like me reading sentences and you snapping.
No, but I'm only snapping if I really like it. That last one was a little gratuitous.
Yeah, it was okay. For limited, you can play Battle Bond in either sealed deck or booster draft. Okay. What kind of new cards are in the set? That one's tough because this.
It's just a question.
Yeah, it starts off with a question.
It's just a question. It's an interrogative. Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, Battle Bond is going to be awesome. It's going to be a two-headed format.
We're looking forward to Battle Bond. Looking forward to the cards being spoiled. Look out, probably closer to release. I would say May. We'll put together an episode that has our predictions for some mechanics and some possible reprints.
Because there's supposed to be reprints. So we'll talk about reprints.
It is like Conspiracy where there are reprints and actual card and actual new cards.
I imagine we're going to get some cool each opponent cards.
Yeah.
I think it would be a real tragedy if Wizards leaves these kind of cards out. I imagine they won't. So look out for that in the future.
Yeah, look out for that in May, probably.
Moving on in our main phase one, we're going to talk about FTV, so the From the Vault sets, and it's actually moving into a product called Signature Spellbook.
First off, goodbye From the Vault. We won't miss your terribly miscut cards and your really janky foil.
That wasn't always a thing, but it did definitely become a thing.
Lately, it's been a thing.
Apparently, Signature Spellbook is going to be focused around a Planeswalker.
Right.
And the cards that would work within the lore that Planeswalker would cast.
It'll be a premium foil of the Planeswalker.
Yes.
And then 8 cards around that like represent their spellbook.
Yeah, so we're gonna have like a Jace that has probably like a Brainstorm, maybe an Unsummon.
Right.
These
Something
kind of
with
things.
Mill, destroy their mind kind of thing. That's one of his main
like
moves.
a Traumatize. Or...
Yeah, I think it's a cool product. It'll MSRP for $20. So if it's a good Planeswalker that they print, which is unlikely but possible, it could be like a $10 card that you're buying for $20. And
what did you say the MSRP of this will be?
$19.99.
Okay, so this is an affordable, cool little.
Now,
pickup.
will it sell for $19.99? That's a whole nother bucket of Jaces, as I say.
Hey, bucket of Jaces.
Because the From the Vault series was a very different MSRP from what it actually sold
That
for.
was like $34.99, something like that.
Right,
MSRP.
but it sold for way more than that.
Now, Wizards is making this out to be FTV will be no more. But if there's one thing we know about Wizards is F&M promos were no more. Now it's tokens, but now tokens are no more. And now F&M promos are back. And this is going to end forever. But hey, there's a chance it's going to come back. So I would take all of that with a grain of salt.
Definitely.
But I think it's cool. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see the quality of the cards.
Right. You want a hot take for this? They're going to print Jace the Mind Sculptor as the Planeswalker in this set. There's your hot take for the day.
If you're trying to turn people onto Modern, that's a good thing.
Definitely.
If you're trying to piss off a ton of people that have spent money on Jaces, Wizards doesn't care.
Doesn't care. Also, make it a limited print run and treat it the same as From the Vault. From the Vault was MSRP $35. But good luck finding that set cheaper than $60.
The problem with these...
And if it's Jace the Mind Sculptor in there, it's going to sell for way more expensive than the MSRP is anyway. And everybody's already conditioned that From the Vault and MSRP, that like those are two things that don't really matter.
What scares me here is now out in LA, we have some local game store owners that are very cool about making sure everyone has access to the product.
Right.
Our local game store, Emerald Knights, they actually, when a product like this comes out, they offer a certain number to people that are members of the store.
Yeah.
But most of the time it's a raffle to where, you know, even those people aren't guaranteed to get it. They go into a raffle.
Yeah, they want to keep it even. They don't want anybody to go in there and buy 15 copies.
Correct. Because people would do it. They'll just go in with $500 and buy the whole lot.
Right.
But some local game stores, and we look back to the Clash Pack that had Windswept Heath and Collected Company.
Right.
And you look at those... I don't know if it was a Clash Pack. It was some kind of deck. It was like a ready-to-go deck. Mm-hmm. But it had a lot of good staples. And the problem is that some local game stores will just take this product, crack it for themselves, and then sell the singles.
Yeah.
And so Jace
That's the reason that we speculate that the new Standard Showdown decks, or whatever they're going to be called, can't be that good.
Because they'll never make it to the hands of the public.
The stores will just crack them open and sell them as singles.
Yeah.
All of that put together... I think the point is that all of these product announcements sound really cool. And most of the ideas that we have just from the outset of them telling us what the product is titled and is going to comprise come from a place of, okay, this is how you best serve your existing player base and bring new players into it, while not continuing the trend of... you know, haha, Wizards does stuff and take it back all the time and makes mistakes and they can just undo whatever.
Right.
Like, we are coming from a place of positivity, and we're coming from a place of really wanting this M25 year to succeed in a big way.
Yeah, for sure.
As we enter our attack step this week, I know we just talked about a bunch of positivity and wanting the game to succeed and have a fantastic year. So why not really talk about some stuff that we're not super pleased with?
All right, guys. So there's a MOBA. There's a MMO, massive multiplayer online game.
Yeah.
What else? What was the other thing? There's a
MOBA. There's an MTG. Oh, an MTG app that's going to be like a news app and a life counter, and I probably put Gatherer on there at some point.
Bro, I like that the most.
Have
out of all the news, I think that's great.
They'll probably have Well, no, they don't pay attention to the secondary market, so there won't be a price breakdown in there. It's not Star City.
We have MTG stocks. We have a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah. The point is,
they're diversifying a lot.
Holy crap, they are diversifying so much. There's so much stuff coming out this year. It all seems to be coming out around the same time, which is kind of annoying, but not what the attack step is about. It's just about the amount of stuff
this is
coming out this year. That's not even cardboard. That's not even the stuff that we play with. It doesn't have anything to do with this part of the game. It's about a MOBA and an MMO and an app And
yeah,
God,
it's not unlike Wizards to throw an ungodly amount of products at us. And I get it. You have a very popular game that's withstood the test of time.
And you want to make it more popular.
The game came out in 1993, and to this day, it is the most successful card game.
Exactly.
Every card has the same... It has the same back that it's had for years.
Out of the box. Show them what it is. It's a Nantuko Calmer.
It's a Nantuko Calmer. The art on the front changes constantly.
Oh, yeah.
But this is constant.
Always
and
the same.
It is Magic the Gathering.
Look at that.
And
there's your throwback card for the day. Randomly grab that off the shelf.
But seriously, like
what are they focusing on? That's what the attack step is about. You gotta have different divisions, I would assume. I mean, they're smart. They know what they're doing. They're a fantastically successful company.
Right.
So they've got different divisions that are working on the app, that are working on the MOBA game, that are working on the MMO, that are working on the spellcaster spellbook, signature spellbook, that are working on Battle Bond.
When World of Warcraft first came out, and I know this is a random curveball.
Yeah, MMO time.
But when World of Warcraft first came out,
okay,
the Druid was the jack of all trades. It could do everything, but it was the master of none.
Okay.
And when World of Warcraft first came out, you didn't want to be the Druid, and now MTG is becoming the Druid. And what that is it's just like, yes, you're doing everything, but you're not doing anything wonderfully.
We hope.
But this is the attack step.
Right. Like we've said in multiple weekly videos, like we've mentioned in our specials, we hope that this year is them really course correcting in a big way.
Let's look at Duels of the Planeswalkers.
Right.
Like, this is but dude, this game came out, and there are people that play this that aren't MTG fans that have spent gold on packs. They've spent money buying these packs.
Right. We have friends that play it on Xbox Live
that don't play Paper Magic.
That don't play Paper Magic and couldn't think of spending money on Paper Magic because it's kind of a pshaw thing to them. But have spent money to get the cards in this game.
Yeah. Yeah. And the fact that MTG, that Wizards is just like, let's abandon that. Like, you have a great thing here.
Yeah.
That if you had some people come in and work on the tech, update it, consistently continue to add cards, make sure that this is a refined, cool thing, you're going to retain a lot of players that aren't even part of your big mainstream thing.
Yeah.
And it's mostly kind of sad. It's just like, yeah, we're just like doing a lot of stuff and whatever sticks. They're just throwing spaghetti at the wall.
Exactly. That's the main point, is that we hope that all of these have focus and purpose and nobody's attention is being divided between, oh man, we got to get Dominaria out on time. Oh, but I have to answer 3 emails that are critical to getting the MOBA completed. And so it's mostly a hope that the focus is there, that none of it is like you're talking about with Duels of the Planeswalkers as an example, or anything else. Just like trying something. If it fails, it fails. If it succeeds, yay. Let's not just like shotgun blast this thing. Let's focus on making let's not be the Druid.
Let's make a couple things really well.
Right, let's be the warrior.
Yeah.
You hit things with swords. You hit things with swords, or you shoot stuff with fire.
Yeah.
You can use ice if you don't like fire.
Yeah.
But it's still very focused if we're going to continue.
You don't be a fire mage and an ice mage.
No.
It just doesn't work.
Right.
You put all of the resources into one thing.
Exactly. Guys, we just want Wizards of the Coast to spec their RPG character in a focused way to maximize their DPS. Let's move into main phase 2. Jake has got some specs, 2 to be exact, for us this week.
Well, 2.5 are actually 3.
Oh man, 2.5 or 3. Jake, hit us with the spicy spec.
We have to look at modern today. We're going to be talking about a couple modern specs.
It is the focus right now for many people.
It is. And what we're going to be focusing on today is Jace the Mind Sculptor coming into the meta.
Like everybody else. Jace the Mind Sculptor's back, everybody.
Yeah.
And he is making waves, and I've already seen a ton of content. I've already seen a ton of conversations about how do you beat Jace.
Yeah. And I think right now we need to focus on a couple cards that are, in the grand scheme of things, at least in a modern format, very spicy for your sideboard.
Right.
And these cards are Boil and Choke. So Boil, 1 red, 3 other.
Yes.
Instant speed, destroy all islands. Very oftentimes, control decks are running stuff like Cryptic Command, so islands are prioritized. Definitely. They make sure to get the islands out.
Yeah.
If you can catch the control mage in a moment where they are tapped out, which does happen in Modern.
Yeah, occasionally.
It absolutely does happen. And you hit them with a Boil, that's enough to move into a scoop phase. Now, I'm not saying you need to have like a play set of Boil in your main deck.
Right.
But like I was mentioning on Twitch, I do watch a lot of specifically Modern content.
Right.
And right now, Jace is at the forefront. I think the other night I watched one of my favorite streamers, and he played against 4 decks that were, 2 Storm that are both running Jace.
Yeah,
yes, Storm is randomly running Jace, but it makes sense.
Everybody's trying it out in the archetypes that were already working.
But then Blue-Black Control and Jeskai Control, which is also running Jace.
Yeah.
So having Boil in your sideboard, and right now you can get Boil for like 50 cents. Disclaimer, I just bought 40 Boil at like 30 cents a piece.
Right.
I bought them at various conditions, different sets. But since I bought it, Boil has already gone up to like 90 cents. It's sitting at $1. Now Choke is a little bit more.
Right.
1 green, 2 other enchantment. This is a little bit more expensive than Boil. But islands don't untap during their controller's untap.
Still effective at taking care of Jace.
This is a mana cheaper than Boil.
Right.
It answers the green aspect of this, whereas Boil is obviously the red aspect.
Yeah.
But Jace is going to be out there until people discover that, whoa, maybe Modern's a little bit too fast for Jace.
But it won't discover it out. It'll just discover that, it won't even discover anything. The hype will settle. That's all that's going to happen, is the initial hype will settle. Look, everybody's understandably excited that this all-powerful boogeyman, as Magic Man Sam called him, is back. So everybody wants to try him in their blue decks. Blue Scott Farkas was just talking about, I'm streaming tonight a deck that's going to include Jace. What do you want me to play?
Dude.
People are hyped about this.
Yes.
But it will settle. It will settle.
But here's
find
what's
where
crazy.
he belongs, and it will settle.
Yes, and this is why I think these specs are important, is because Blue was already popular.
Right.
Storm was already a popular deck.
Right.
You have Blue-White Control with Celestial Colony. That was already a popular deck.
Yep.
Blue is one of the most favorite colors among mages in this game. And now that Jace is back, we can expect to see Blue a lot more. And because of that, cards like Choke, cards like Boil, these are the kind of cards that people are going to start answering it with.
Right.
These are the spicy meatballs that are going to start popping up in sideboards,
Yeah.
in even main deck maybe, that people aren't thinking about right now that you need to be thinking about. And right now, wouldn't you rather spend $2, $3 on a playset of Boil, then later on go, holy shit, how did that card out of nowhere go up to 8?
Yeah.
And now I'm like, why didn't
For
a sideboard card?
Right.
Moving on from that, I think we've drilled it into your mind as to why these cards are important, why they need to be on your radar at least. Another card is Shadow of the Grave, and this one is a little bit spicier, and by spicier I mean... Okay, so Shadow of the Grave is specifically...
Hollow One decks.
It's for the Hollow One deck.
Hollow One cycling decks are a thing.
This would be for the Hollow One deck that doesn't run Gurmag.
Right.
Because Gurmag does specifically depend on having cards in the yard.
Right.
But when you cast a Faithless Looting, when you cast a Goblin Lore, how crazy is it to actually get all those cards back?
Right.
In Shadow of the Grave, instant speed is very cheap. So when you Faithless Looting into a Shadow of the Grave, you're drawing 2 cards, but you're actually getting back the 2 cards that you just discarded. So for Goblin Lore, you're drawing 4 and then you're randomly discarding 3. So for 4 total mana, now I know Modern is quick format.
Sure.
But for 4 total mana, you're drawing 4 cards, you're discarding 3 cards, you're playing Shadow of the Grave, and you're getting those 3 cards back. Now you've got a full grip for 4 mana.
Right.
I don't think that's anything to shake a stick at.
The caveat with this card is that we actually haven't seen it played. Mostly right now, this is coming from a theory crafting standpoint.
Yes. That is very important.
Would love to play test it, would love to see how it works. But it's that getting ahead of the curve thing that we like to do here at Jake and Joel. Dude. We don't mind being wrong. We like being right, though. And especially if we were way ahead of the curve on being right.
When Shadow of the Grave originally came out, it came out alongside Drakehaven and a bunch of other cards that were, built with the cycling mechanic.
Right.
Shadow of the Grave had a ton of hype when it came out. The foil was selling for $15 pre-sale.
Drakehaven too. Both of them had a ton of hype.
They had a ton of hype. But we're not looking at Shadow of the Grave from a Amonkhet standpoint. We're looking at it from a modern standpoint.
Definitely.
And since Goblin Lore has come into the limelight and it's operating alongside, Cathartic Reunion and, Faithless Looting and other discard mechanics, I think Shadow of the Grave actually does have a home in a modern deck. It's just yet to, pop up, and no one's thinking about it. Right now, Shadow of the Grave is 25 cents non-foil. The foil's $1. The pre-release foil's like $1.29.
Pick up a playset for $1. Becomes a $2 card. You're patting yourself on the back.
Yeah.
To sum all of that up, our 3 specs for this episode are number 1,
Boil.
Number 2,
Choke.
And number 3,
Shadow of the Grave.
They're all very cheap right now. We don't promise anything here at Jake and Joel. Read the fine print. Terms and conditions may apply.
Nothing can be held against us, and everything.
Probably dumb.
Everyone's an idiot.
Right, but they are very cheap right now. Maybe worth looking at.
As we enter into our tap step,
a tap step? What's in a tap step? We've got untap step. We've got a tack step. We've got end step. What's in a tap step? That's a top stop. We're from California and you're wearing the hoodie, but you can't talk like that. A top stop.
As we move into the end step,
there it is.
Earlier this evening, I did briefly mention a Twitch streamer.
Yeah, in main phase 2.
In main phase 2 that I watch a lot. If you are into Modern, he specifically streams Modern decks. He's always playing a different Modern deck. He's got a great little community built around him. We'll go ahead and shout him out. His name is eimang, E-I-M-A-N-G.
The link is in the description below.
Yes, he is really cool Australian guy. So if you have a absolutely effed sleep cycle like I do,
or you live on the West Coast and you like to watch stuff late, around midnight, he's top of the pack as far as streamers go.
So, he's great. He's got a great community. Really nice dude.
Yeah. Definitely go check him out.
Yeah, check out his stream. I only shouting him out today because I've become such a fan of him, and I'm such a fan of Modern format. And so specifically, if you like Modern, you want to watch, the meta get played out. You want to see a lot of different decks. You want to see what people are playing, how they're answering things. Mm-hmm. This is a really cool stream to watch, and it's a really cool, fun community to be a part of.
On his last stream, he said that he had been watching some of our stuff, but he couldn't tell us apart. This is Jake.
Yes.
And this is Joel. Joel is the shorter, blonder one, and Jake is the taller, more dark-haired one.
Yes.
Guys, this weekend is GP Memphis. It will be a standard GP.
Yeah, man.
We haven't had one of these since the banning. We haven't seen Wizards sanctioned standard tournament play, and Jake's already asleep. Well,
wait, what are we talking? What is standard? What are we talking about?
This is going to be our first taste of actual Wizards sanctioned. No offense, Star City Games, but I'm looking forward to seeing standard played at a GP event in a competitive setting. Definitely. And Jake's asleep again. Oh, Jake fell out of his. Oh. Well, Jake's
what are we
asleep.
talking about? We're talking about standard and...
We will be covering that next week and seeing what the fallout is from GP Memphis being a standard tournament. Oh, and... Alright, and Jake's asleep again. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click like. Make sure to click subscribe. There are other buttons down there too. Feel free to click those as well. Make sure you go check out eimang's Twitch. The link is in the description. Other than that, I'm tapped out.
Standard is natural lunesta.
Standard is natural lunesta. There's your hot take number 2 for the episode.